everyone, welcome to We Love Soap TV. I'm Roger Newcomb.
And I'm Damon L. Jacobs, author of Absolutely Shoulдлess, The Secret to Living the Stress-Free Life You Deserve. Still available on Amazon. Do you believe it's still available on Amazon? It's still there.
Well, there must be a million copies for it still to be available. So today we have a very special show with some cast members from Anacostia, and this is the cast that won Best Ensemble at the recent Indie Soap Awards.
That's right, and you know, Roger, another reason why I'm so excited about this is because we've been talking a lot lately about the lack of diversity in daytime, and with the removal of Kish and sort of the whitewashing of network shows, I'm happy that we're spotlighting Anacostia, which is a show that embraces diversity, embraces different people of sexual orientation, and tells some new innovative stories that people have not seen on network TV. So I hope people watch these interviews and then go check out Anacostia. You won't be sorry if you do. Chanté Bowser, how nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you too.
Now let's talk about Salina first. Salina Taylor.
Yes.
A housewife in Anacostia.
Yes.
Who has a bit of a hidden problem.
Yes,
Tell us about
she's a
this.
professional woman that likes her bottle.
She certainly does.
She does.
In your mind, how did this come about? When we were first introduced to Salina, we meet her and she's very put together.
Right.
And we soon learn that she has the problem of
Drinking problem. She's a closet alcoholic.
Right.
Yes. That's for seasons 2 to tell. I can't tell that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But there's some deep hidden issues and things that have happened that kind of led her to drink.
So we're going to learn more about that.
Oh,
we're
you're
going
going
to
to
learn more about her
so
history.
much more in season 2 about how Salina got to be Salina.
I did see that there was a casting call for a young Salina.
Yes.
So that's sort of also a preview for season 2.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. One of the things I love about this show is how a lot of the problems and struggles of the characters are so very realistic.
Right.
Salina is probably one of my most favorite characters, but aggravating characters.
Yes.
Because she is so much like people I've worked with as a substance abuse counselor, in that she's confident, but she's also so arrogant about her problem.
Yes. Yes, she you know, the hard part about it, just like most other addicts, is that they bring their friends into their mess. And so, you know, Scott has a hard time dealing with it, and then Salina is getting her friends and recruiting them to lie for her. And that puts them in a very awkward position, because even though they all kind of grew up together, you know, Scott isn't part of that clique, and so, but they still feel some kind of affinity towards him to tell the truth.
Right, Scott, her husband.
Yes, Scott, her husband, and so that's, you know, that's the struggle, that's the dynamic that's going on. You'll see more of that as the season progresses.
Right, and that's again one of these fascinating things that I love about Anacostia, where there's very few clear good guys or bad guys, but Salina's a person who doesn't intend to get everybody involved in her mess, but it happens.
It happens.
And we see that play out throughout the course of the series.
Exactly.
Have you known anyone who's been in that situation or struggled with drug or alcohol abuse?
I do. I have, we have people we suspect that have those issues, and it's sad because you want to reach out to them, you want to be able to tell them that you see what the issue is, and you want to be able to help them but everybody knows is that you can't make an addict want to change. Sure. That person has to decide to change in order for that change to stay. Yeah. And so until Salina decides that this is something that she wants to correct, the behavior is going to continue.
Right. Now, in your own career, I noticed that you took quite a detour from where you started. Yeah. I read that you started as a lawyer.
Right.
And then how did the acting business come about from someone who had gone through law school?
Well, I think it's, you know, all lawyers want to be hams.
Okay.
And all litigators definitely want to be hams, because litigating is like you're in front of the courtroom and you're putting on a show. You're putting on a show for the jury, for the judge. I've always had an interest in acting, and I just one day went out to an audition just for the hell of it and ended up getting it. And it was like, oh, this is so cool. And then like I got a script, then I'm learning, and then I'm getting to play somebody different from myself. And then after that, it just kind of sucked me in, and here I am.
That's great. I mean, to take a risk like that, to go from one career.
Right.
You know, sometimes when we go through schooling and all that, and then to take...
Yes. And it's hard. It's hard. Like, I learned not to wear suits and things, because things that I would normally wear during the workday, I can't wear if I'm like on an audition or whatever, because it's hard to separate myself and to like really let go, because I'm so much being that lawyer during the day and, you know, hot actress at night.
Right. Do you have a certain motto or something you live by, or that you would give advice to someone who is unhappy in their career and wants to think about a change in their life? What would you say?
My favorite one is a dream denied. A dream delayed is never a dream denied. And that's because, you know, people have, sometimes because of family or whatever your situation is, you put things to decide. but sometimes you have to, follow your dreams. And whether or not you do it at 30, 20, 40, 60, 80, it doesn't matter. Just, you gotta follow your dreams. You gotta give yourself that chance because there's only one lifetime that we have.
That's right. I love that advice. And I love your performance as Salina on Anacostia. I cannot wait for season 2.
Me neither!
To see more about her and more of her background. I can't wait.
Yes,
It's just fascinating.
Thank you. I enjoy it. Thank you all for the award. We really, truly appreciate it. Thank you for your hug. And not a virtual hug either. Like a real hug.
I know, a real one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sitting here with Pasha Diallo, who plays Dominique, who is a bit different from the other wives in Anacostia.
Yeah, somewhat.
Dominique is she's a businesswoman.
Yes.
And she's running
A business.
a business of disrespect. I love Dominique, by the way. I love this show. Tell us about Dominique and what she does.
Dominique is, like you said, a business person. I own an agency, and actually it's like a professional brothel as such.
You're running a whorehouse in suburbia.
Right. And it's kind of low key. Not too many people know about it, except maybe 1 or 2 people, as we've seen like in some of the episodes. But that's what I do, and I do a good job at it.
That's right.
I take it very seriously.
That's right. When we first introduced to Dominique, she comes off pretty harsh.
Yeah, well, I gotta do what I gotta do. Keep everybody in line.
And over the course of the series, we understand more about her. But what's coming up for season 2 for Dominique? We're gonna understand more about how she got into this business.
I'm not quite sure.
Uh-huh.
Our producer kind of keeps us, full of wonder. We don't quite really know what's going on in season 2 yet, but I'm sure a lot of questions are going to be answered.
Great. Now, I watched a special that you were on from the We channel, about being a plus-size model,
Right.
and how in your life you also took like a very different career path from what the path you were on. Can you tell me more about that?
I work as a nurse. That's what I do.
Uh-huh.
But I've always wanted to be a little glamorous, and I think a lot of women want to be able to step outside themselves and maybe do something else that maybe might not be, for the everyday. And it was exciting, and so I kind of stepped out on a limb and tried it, and it's been working for me. I enjoy it a lot because you get to kind of be, somebody else. You get all made up. It's like a pretend thing, and then when it's done, you can go back to your normal life. So I like being able to make like that transition between the everyday and then the surreal as such. It's fun.
Right. So you were working as a nurse, and you decided to become a model.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw an interview with you where you discussed some of the people in your life that weren't necessarily supportive of you going forward with this career path.
Right.
How did you deal with that? With going into, first of all, taking a totally different career path and one that's usually reserved for very, very, thin women.
I think that first you really have to believe in it. You kind of have to sell yourself the dream, and if you believe in it, what other people really have to say about it really doesn't matter as such. So I believed in it. I always thought it was something that I could do, and I wasn't going to be, deterred by someone that was close to me, let alone people that I didn't necessarily know. And so I went for it, and I learned about it and studied it and tried to be the best at it, and it's been working. I enjoy it.
So from nurse to model to actress.
Right.
How did this come about? How did Anacostia come about?
Well, I've known Anthony for maybe 4 or 5 years now. I met him at a fashion show, and even that day he said, well, I plan on doing like some movies and different things, and he was like, when I get started, are you going to be on board? And I was like, yeah, sure. And you know how you can meet people and they're always talking and going on about nothing, or no, he's not going to do anything. I hadn't known him that long, but I knew that he was serious.
Right.
And so I didn't mind, getting on board. Everything that he's ever done has always been top notch, from his fashion shows to his movies and his play. Everything he does is always the best. So I didn't have a problem saying yes. And that was years ago, and I'm so glad I did.
So glad too, and I think it's inspirational that you have never appeared to have let obstacles or other people's ideas hold you back from doing what you want to do.
Well, I think in this business, acting, modeling, just entertainment period, you really have to kind of be confident. I think that's the first
How does
thing.
someone find that though? If they have people in their lives or family members who want to hold them down and say, you know what, you should not live your dream, you shouldn't try to do something that's in your heart. What advice would you give to someone who's feeling discouraged?
I would tell them that first, you really have to believe. really just believe in yourself that you can do it, and you know that you're not going to take no for an answer as such. And it really takes too like a lot of self-evaluation, because sometimes you have to look inward and say, okay, you know, am I up for this? Because in modeling, acting, entertainment, you're always going to hear no much more than you hear yes. So I think that, you know, you have to kind of put your thick skin on and just get ready.
That's great.
And face it.
How would someone who doesn't feel like they have a thick skin, what's something they could do to sort of develop that and start to have some faith in themselves if they don't already have that?
I don't know how you would kind of like develop it. I don't know necessarily where mine came from as such. I think that, you know, just having good parenting and friends and supportive people around you and everything kind of helps put like that superwoman or superman bubble around you so you feel confident, you know, enough to do it. But like I said, a lot of it starts with self. So if you feel good about yourself and you feel like you can do these things, then there's nothing that can really stop you from doing it. You know, you have to have that drive.
Beautiful. Well, I think you're a great example of that, and you're very inspiring, and I can't wait to see what Dominique is up to in season 2, because she's got a lot happening there, and I know we only scratched the surface of what's happening with her and her person. You know, we only know her business, but I can't wait till we learn more about her. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm sitting here with Tamieka Chavis, who plays Mia on the hit web series Anacostia. I love this show, and one of the things I love this show is that it brings up so many feelings as I'm watching it. I love the soapy part, and I love the comedy, but I was almost in tears watching episode 2 of this show, specifically because of a scene involving your character. Can you tell us a bit about what happens to Mia in the first or the second episode? That it's just
that scene, I guess you could say, is the climax of Mia and Michael's relationship, her husband, that you see the problems within their marriage, and she gets mashed potatoes thrown in her face, and he's horrible to her, mentally and emotionally abusive, and that was the first time where he was actually close to being physically abusive by throwing the mashed potatoes.
Yeah. I mean, to me that crosses the line. That's physical. For me, I thought, wow, that's the line.
Me too. And I really wanted her to pick up the plate and throw it in his face, but that wasn't written in the script. So.
However, Mia does start to formulate a better plan.
Oh yeah, she does.
Over the course of the series.
Yes, she grows confident. She gets a little bit more self-esteem, and you can see that slowly building within each episode.
Yeah. One of the things I also love about Anacostia is because we don't ever know exactly where it's going. It kind of starts, the scene that we're referring to with the mashed potatoes starts off as potentially comedic. And if this was something like Desperate Housewives and this was Gabrielle Solis, this would be a funny scene. But it turns very serious, very fast.
Yes.
And
because she thinks she finally caught him and finally has the upper hand this time, and then he flips the script and it's like she just gets totally crushed.
Yeah.
So.
Have you ever known someone, or how did you come to learn about this kind of abuse in a marriage or in a relationship?
Well, unfortunately, I have been in a couple of relationships. I've prayerfully learned my lesson, and actually, and it's interesting in this role, I've actually learned to recognize and to actually see the experience that I had been through, and with the writing of Mia's lines, the words she says are things that I've always wanted to say about my relationship when she's I don't know which episode is being aired right now, but when she goes to her lawyer and expresses early in the series, she expresses to him you know, that she's fed up, and she's actually putting taking the steps to heal, to actually see that this marriage isn't right, and I need to get out of it. It needs to change. Even though she really wants the marriage, she wants there to be a happy ending, but she can't go through that torture anymore.
Right. And again, again, this is one of the ways I think web series, especially web series, have a way to inspire and encourage people who might be watching this, who might be in a similar situation, to see Mia get the courage to get herself out of that. I think it's really inspiring. So much of these scenes are based on you, though, and based on your feelings, on your emotions. And I just think the way you channel that is phenomenal. Again, it just rips my heart apart. I watched that again just to make sure I was, gonna get that right for this interview. And
most people feel
I can't sit through that.
Yeah.
What advice might you give to someone, a woman or a man, watching this or watching Anacostia, who's in a relationship and starting to question, this seems this feels abusive to me?
Definitely don't be afraid to tell someone. I know it can be embarrassing to share that with someone, because it's something that that you didn't think that you would be experiencing. It's like, this can't be happening to me. But just sharing it with someone else and actually recognizing it so that you can go through the steps to break away from that relationship and to allow yourself to heal.
Right.
But talking
about it. She really downplays it to her friends, but I agree. Talking about it and just telling people about it is really an important step.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can preview for us about what's coming up for Mia in season 2?
Well, there's a wedding. So I get to wear a wedding dress.
Okay.
So you get to see me in my pretty whites.
Beautiful. Now I'm like, okay, wait, who is it? I don't want to know though. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
But it's great. It's such a great show, and again, it's such a talented cast, and I just can't wait for season 2. Thank you for being here, and thank you for talking.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my. I'm sitting here with Kena Hodges, who plays Nicole Reese-Davis on the hit web series Anacostia, and it's so great to speak with you.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Nicole is the newcomer to the suburban town of Anacostia. She's kind of the one who comes in, and we kind of get to know a lot of the neighbors through her eyes.
Right.
And one of the things I love about Nicole is that she will put it out there. She's a former supermodel, and you think that the neighbors perceive her perhaps as being a little bit snotty, but we learn right away she's on point, and she will speak whatever is on her mind. I've never heard the term war paint used in this context before. And you have to watch the show to know what that means, but you have to watch episode 2. But I love that your character just puts it out there.
Yeah, excellent writing.
How do you relate to Nicole?
Well, like Nicole, she's a former model. I'm still doing some modeling. That's the only thing I can really relate to her. She is a former crackhead, and I don't know anything about that because crack is whack, right? She's married to an ex-NFL player. He's ready to settle down and start a family, and she's looking to get back into modeling, and she's not interested in having children, and so that's kind of where the strife comes in.
Right.
I don't date NFL players, so that's there.
But there's a lot of tension there. We soon realize that this person who seems to have this great career in this model does not exactly have the perfect life.
Right.
In your own life, I know you played basketball.
Yes.
My sports scripted. You played basketball professionally.
I did. I played in college, and then after college, I didn't want to work. Had an agent, and he sent me to Sweden. That was pretty cool. And came back from Sweden, had another agent, got picked up on the Mystics practice team, and then got cut. But
what's the Mystics?
The Mystics, the WNBA team.
Okay.
Sorry. So I played for them for 2 weeks, and got cut. But it was an experience. I still have a jersey. I can say I played in the WNBA. Never made it to the court, but yeah.
And then, what are the similarities between playing professional basketball and acting, if any?
You always have to put on a great show.
Was that a lot of basketball? Was like performing?
Yeah, a lot of basketball is performing. I mean, it's the basics, you know, the basic fundamentals, but then you have to add your own little flair to it, you know, to make it exciting, make people want to see it and come back and watch you play again. And so acting is a lot like that too.
Great. I read an article that said in your freshman year, you weren't necessarily the top player, but you came a very, very far way in a few years. Is that right?
The one from high school?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you've done your homework.
Oh, yeah.
He Googled me. Yes.
But there was a lot of it. I like that article because you had a lot of interesting life lessons that you learned between your freshman year and your junior year.
Yes, I thought I was really good.
Yeah.
I was doing layups off the wrong foot though, so you know, it's like, wow, I really wasn't as good as I thought I was. And it was a really ego thing to put me on JV. But it was good because it gave me the time that I needed to develop. I had trainers, and I didn't think for a minute I was going to play ball in college. That was just kind of fell into my lap because as I started to play, people were like, actually, she's really good. And I started playing seriously my freshman year in high school. Ended up being recruited by like over 100 schools. So it was pretty good. It was a very good talent to be blessed with, I must say.
How did you make that transition then, like within yourself, from being, from having someone be humbled in your freshman year of high school to becoming the sort of player that colleges would seek after? What shift did you have to make to have that happen?
I actually played on an AAU team, which is kind of like a travel team, and all the girls were much better than me, and they were really mean to me. So
how did you deal with that?
We're friends now.
You were like 15, right? And all these girls were
I was
mean to
like
you?
14, 15. It was just like, oh gosh, you know, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. But it comes with the territory. And one thing about playing sports and athletics, you have these coaches that help, you know, kind of develop you and your character and your esteem. And you really have to be gung-ho to go for it and go all the way with it. So it just happened.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then how did Anacostia come about for you?
Like Pasha, I met Anthony at the same fashion show, and he said to me during the casting, he's like, yeah, you know, we're going to do work together. And unlike Pasha, I didn't believe him. You know, because in DC, and it might happen here in New York, everyone's just, you know, oh, I can do this for you, I'm going to do that. And I was like, okay, sounds good, but he couldn't even say my name right. So I was like, he's not going to remember me because he can't even get my name correct. But he called me. And I did one of his fashion shows, and we developed this friendship. And then he was telling me about this project, and I was like, that sounds kind of fun. I'd love to do it. So here I am.
Great.
Yeah.
When you saw the scripts, did you have any reservations about some of the blunt dialogue? And that was...
No, because, you know, I'm pretty blunt. I had some reservations about some of the intimate scenes, because we had to film those twice.
Okay,
My husband was replaced 8 episodes.
Oh, so
in.
Andre, the character playing Andre was not the original actor?
Right, he wasn't the original
okay.
actor, so I had to do a lot of those scenes that you see.
Okay, there's a lot of sexy scenes. It's another thing about Anacostia I want our viewers to know. There's a lot of sexy scenes, and you're in some of them.
Yeah, I'm in some of them.
Some of them are pretty explicit, too. So you had to do that with one actor playing your husband, and then a different actor playing your husband.
Yes, yeah.
How did you deal with, like, how did you get comfortable then? If you
It's
were
acting. Just act like you like it. Keep smiling. Ooh, yes. Okay.
Is there anything you can preview for us? I think the people watching this, some of them may not have seen season 1, and I don't want to give too much away.
Okay.
But is there anything you can preview for us about your character in season 2? She's got it.
She develops a serious voice, I think, in season 2. Season 1, you'll see some things, and you'll be like, is she really the good girl that she portrays to be? And we'll learn more about that in season 2.
Awesome. Oh, thank you, Kena.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you. So I'm with Anthony Anderson, the producer, writer, part-time director, and definitely an essential part of this wonderful ensemble of actors of the hit web series Anacostia. It's so great to talk with you.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having all of us.
You are so welcome. So first of all, tell me about the actual suburb of Anacostia. How did this idea occur to you, and why Anacostia?
Well, Anacostia is a suburb of Washington, D.C. Anyone who knows anything about Anacostia, it doesn't have the greatest reputation. And
What's the reputation?
The reputation is guns, violence, poverty, and stuff like that. And while that is a aspect of that neighborhood, it doesn't represent the entire city. It doesn't represent the entire neighborhood. And I'm a product of Anacostia. I grew up in Anacostia, went to elementary school and junior high school in Anacostia, and developed my talent in Anacostia. So when I developed this series, I said I wanted to put that word out there for a positive connotation, finally, to when people hear the word Anacostia, they think of something positive, and the characters are positive as well.
That's great. That's great. Are you getting good feedback from the community about that?
We are getting excellent feedback because it's something that when people who know the city, who know that part of the city, they hear Anacostia, they automatically think that it's going to be about guns and drugs and violence and stuff like that. And when they see the show, it's such a complete 180 of what they thought, that they're looking at it like, okay, where's that part of town at? Or I know people like that. And it just reinforces that there are people like that in Anacostia.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Anacostia, the show itself, I am loving, and I love that it reminds me of Knots Landing.
Oh yeah.
Parts of it remind me of Dallas because there's a central villain who there's a bit of a mystery that comes about. And it also reminds me of Desperate Housewives very much in the setup of there being this neighborhood where everyone has some secrets behind their front door, and there's a mystery that runs throughout the series.
Exactly.
And in every episode we get a few more clues about what is all entailed in that mystery.
Absolutely.
What led you to want to do this show specifically in this format of a continuing story format as...
Well, coming from Washington, D.C., the work for the actors is far and few in between. It's like the productions will come with already established actors in it, and they would use the talent in DC as extras. Or pretty much a show like The Wire that came into Baltimore that was very successful used its surplus of actors in the area as either extras or drug dealers or people that were already dead, and the talent in DC can do far more than that. So I said, I was watching an episode of Inside the Actor Studio, and they asked Spike Lee about his first film, She's Gotta Have It, and they asked him why he did it. And he said in order for him to have the changes that he wanted to see, he had to start making the projects for him to see those changes. So I just took that and said, I have to start making my own work.
That's brilliant. It's like be the change you want to see.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. It's paid off.
Great. That's great. Something I also think that is different about Anacostia is that it takes there's sexual situations, there's explicit sexual situations that you will not find anywhere on network TV, cable TV, not even HBO or Showtime, I think, goes as intimately.
Right.
What was that your motive? What made you want to do scenes that are this explicit or
well, I think in order to be different, you have to start to be groundbreaking. And I think that when you start to talk about web series, you sort of tend to have to go where no one else is trying to go. Especially in the Black community, we have such a stigma on anything that's gay. It's like we can talk about someone being gay and we know people that's gay, but if we start to talk about the intimacies of people being gay, people don't really want to, like, oh, I want to stay away from that. So my thing was, I'm going to do this show, it's going to have a gay character, and we're not going to dilly-dally around the fact like, okay, he's going to drop a towel, and it's going to be implied like, oh, and then you fade to black, and then you fade up, and they're sitting in the bed smoking a cigarette like, okay, let your imagination go. We're going to go and show that gay people are just as intimate as heterosexual people.
Right. So there is, aside from heterosexual couples, there are some very intimate scenes between your character and the character of Andrew.
Yeah,
and they're beautifully, beautifully done. I just have to say, for anyone who's watching this, you need to see this. Have you gotten
Scott Evans?
Yes, Scott Evans. You need to watch it. Have you gotten any flack from the Black community for having such explicit gay scenes?
You want to know the truth? The truth is, we haven't got the flack from it being the gay scenes. The flack has been because people feel as though we should go a complete different direction with the show, and it's about Anacostia. We should show the grittier side of Anacostia. And my thing is, why should we do that? Why should we perpetuate that stereotype that other people have been perpetuating for years now? So that's been one of the hardest things to get over, that hurdle of people accepting that, okay, this is a new way to look at Anacostia. So little by little, we're winning people over that want to see the opposite side of what we're portraying on the show. But it's coming along great.
That's great. Now, is season 2 in production now, or
season 2 is in pre-production?
Okay.
It's juicier drama. We have a few new characters that's going to be popping in and out. Some of the main characters that make it past the season finale.
Because there is a huge cliffhanger in season 1, I gotta say. There's a huge cliffhanger.
Yeah,
we don't
some
know
of
who.
those characters that will make it back will actually have some very interesting plot twists, and I think at the end of episode 10, you get to see one of the most jaw-droppingest cliffhangers ever with Mia and a different character that you sort of hear about throughout the show, throughout the episodes, and then you finally see him, and I think everyone is like, wow, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm. So, Anacostia at anacostiaseries.com.
Right.
People can catch up on all the episodes now. It is worth seeing. It is so good. I'm so thankful for you for being here.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us. Thank you for the Best Ensemble Award. We so appreciate that. It knocked us out.
It's well deserved. You're all fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed those interviews. Definitely check out Anacostia. They're gonna start season 2 production very soon.
And again, if you want to see some interesting stories, some well-told stories, and some very hot, I mean, if you think Kish was hot, just wait till you check out Anacostia. So check out Anacostia, the series, and let us know what you think.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.